all our military that have contributed to this event, but especially to the airmen of Travis Air Force Base. It is truly humbling to see the devotion and dedication that you give to honor our fallen. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Assemblyman Logue, Colonel Martin, Colonel Weber, distinguished guests, and especially Gold Star families. With a heavy emphasis on families. You see, I only have one perspective, one point of reference, and that's of a dad. But that doesn't make my loss any greater or any less than a mother, brother, sister, son or daughter, husband or wife. It just makes it different. So as I share a few thoughts, I will refer to your loved ones by what they are. Heroes. At every mile that was run, we had a hero marker. They are all heroes. My name is Kevin Graves, and I am the proud father of Specialist Joseph A. Graves, KIA, 25 July 06, Baghdad, Iraq. And I promise I won't try to convince you that Joey was the best kid in the world, because that also is just simply a matter of perspective. My remarks today will be mostly directed to the Gold Star families that are here. But if you are fortunate enough to not be a part of this fraternity, I hope you will be able to catch a glimpse into our lives. And I'm not here to talk just about Joey, but that is the only story I know. That is the only story that I have lived. Amongst us, our heroes may appear to be much different. Joey was 5'8", brown hair, and brown eyes. Your hero may be blonde or redhead, may have blue or green eyes. Joey was a pretty good student. He graduated with a 3.8 GPA. But your hero might have had a 4.0 or a 3.0. Joey loves sports, but he had to work really hard at it. Your hero may be a gifted athlete. And many of our heroes were very talented artists. I have seen their work, and it's spectacular. Joey couldn't draw a stick man, but he could play a mean riff on a guitar. The one thing they all had in common, they chose to join the military while our nation was at war, to honorably serve. They paid the ultimate sacrifice. So what is it like for us to be of the Gold Star community? Individually, it may be very different, and yet very much the same. For me, it started with a knock on the door. Literally, a knock on the door. Joey didn't like our doorbell, so he put tape over it, so everybody would think it was out of order. And that tape is still there today. But at my door stood Lieutenant Weeby and Chaplain Reed. As a Gold Star family member, you know why they are there, and you can't stop them from doing their jobs. They have to follow protocol. They have no answers, only painful facts. Next, you try and breathe. You just painfully try and breathe. After some time passes, you try to walk. And eventually, you try to walk and breathe at the same time. When does it become easier? It doesn't. But you try and learn to do it all over again. As a Gold Star community, we are blessed to have families that have walked in our footsteps before us. They have gone through what we are going through, and they help us. That is a blessing. There are those like Lana and Joel, Diane and Mike, that have celebrated their heroes' memory for 10 years. Some such as Roxanne and Drew, Bev, Mary, myself. It has been 7 or 8 years since we learned to breathe again. But we have done it with the help of those that walked before us. And then there are some, like Jose and Hope, barely a year, that are still learning how to breathe. By having events such as this, events that focus on the honor of the sacrifice, it helps us as Gold Star families to find that honor, sometimes even to find a purpose, to understand that we have a responsibility to our heroes to have a life. That's what they would want for us. That's what we wanted for them. It's not easy, and it takes time. More time for some, less for others. But it takes time. We will grieve the rest of our lives. It is a lifelong process. How do we learn to adjust to the new normal? We lean on each other. We hold each other up. And we strive to see the honor in the sacrifice of our heroes. I got to say that again. We strive to see the honor in the sacrifice of our heroes. Anything else can result in toxic grief, unhealthy, and dangerous. Good things can come out of tragedy. The sacrifice of my son Joey has made me a better man today. I have a greater purpose. I have stronger faith in God. I have His mission to finish. I want to close with an example of that. I had no prior service. By the time I was of age to enter the military, Vietnam was just ending. And nobody was going into the military then. Everybody was coming out, and so I just went on with my life. I grew up in a very patriotic home. In fact, I didn't realize until later that I was actually born into a Gold Star family. In 1945, my Uncle Norman, at just 19 years old, in the Army Air Corps, gave his life for his country on a bombing mission over Berlin, just 3 months before the end of the war. After Joey was killed, I felt a desire, a need, to earn the right to wear the uniform that Joey wore. As you can imagine, I didn't exactly fit into the age parameters. However, through the California State Military Reserve, a division of the California Army National Guard, over 4 years ago, I was sworn in as a chaplain's assistant for the 143 Field Artillery Regiment of the United States Army. What an army, what an honor. I tell you that to tell you this. After 2 changes of duty stations, after being promoted to E6 Staff Sergeant, I was recently, in February, assigned to a different chaplain. I was assigned to Chaplain Reed, the same chaplain that knocked on my door on 25 July of '06. And the unit we are serving is the 185th MP Battalion out of Pittsburgh. Why is that significant? That is the same unit my son was attached to in Iraq when he was killed. I now serve the same soldiers that Joey served with. And the Guard being what it is, I knew none of this until I fell into formation for the very first time. For me and for many of us, it's about being of service. My healing comes from helping others heal. It is my responsibility to make the most of those opportunities to serve. I am blessed to have a Gold Star community to be a part of. I am blessed to have a beautiful wife who supports my mission. And I am blessed to have had 21 years with, and I promised I wasn't going to say this, the best kid in the world, Joey Graves. Thank you.